everybody, my name's Kiahonfire and welcome to Conan Exiles. Today I'm doing a video looking at the Unnamed City legendaries. It's been a while and 3.0 has been out for 20 days, and when this update was released it changed all sorts of things, including many legendaries, especially armor and items and stuff like that. And it had a knock-on effect to our very well-known Unnamed City legendaries that can be rare, unusual armor and weapons that you can get from the special bosses you can find around the city. For instance, I just got really lucky getting a Reach of the Red Mother out of this dragon because it doesn't always appear. It's RNG based and can appear, a set amount of times I kill the dragon, aka, it could come out now, it could come out later, blah blah blah, It might take me 100 red mothers to get this bow, it might take me one. You get the picture. And that's why, to have a look at some today, I'm just using a lower NPC spawner timer, and I can kill them and they instantly respawn, and we'll have a look at the items they drop, and then we'll have a look at how they have changed. So I got the traditional stuff. You always get legendary armor patch kits and weapon patch kits, etc. Looking into the more important stuff though, Fangs of the Red Mother is a throwing axe that you can get, and they are very good throwing axes, although it's going to hurt if you lose them because, they're not very common. But they are a strength weapon. Not much has changed with them. Like I was saying, it's mostly in the armor you'll notice the difference. You can also get the Lifeblood Spear. Hasn't changed very much, minus being a strength weapon, has regeneration still, is still pretty decent. Same with the Reach of the Red Mother, although you won't be able to use accuracy anymore. God's Eye though has changed completely from what it used to be. Now it will affect your strength weapon damage and give you 6% of that, and that's a pretty damn good percentage in comparison to a lot of other armors and stuff. So yeah, if you wanted some more strength weapon damage, could be worth looking out for the God's Eye. Now, believe it or not, this item has had a little bit of a buff, as this item used to give you +3 in strength on the old system. So now you've got +6% strength weapon damage instead of that +3 strength you would usually get in your attributes. Looking further into my list to loot, you can still see it drops the Final Breath of the Red Mother, aka one of the best torches in the game, just because the durability is amazing if you can get it. It is definitely worth it. But those are the drops out of the Red Mother I got today. One my RNG did miss was the Dragon Scale Helmet, which is also a drop you can get out of the Red Mother, although you don't seem to see it very often. However, it can give you very good base heat protection and cold resistance, and a decent amount of armor. Now, by the way, the wiki has been updated by the looks of it. Looking at a lot of the pages, it seems to have gotten its update, so the information on there again is more correct than it used to be. Going on to our next Unnamed City boss, we come to the Guardian of the Flame. He shares common loot tables with the Commander, the Grave Walker and the Watcher. They all have very similar loot tables, and you can get it out of them, and they're all skeletons pretty much, so it's quite obvious, If you can't get it through one, try the other three kind of thing. But we'll look at some of the loot, and we're going to be looking at all the bosses there as well, so some of the loot might be in different bosses, so don't worry about that. Anyways, this guy just chills by the flame. He's like under this big old canopy kind of near the obelisk, and when we kill him you can see he gives a very big plethora of things. Now, this boss class gives a lot of different items. You can get lots and lots out of the Guardian of the Flame. From things like the Commander's Helmet, to the Legacy of the Nordheimers, to the Night Stalker's Mask, Scorpion Helmet, and more, weapons and stuff. He drops a lot. One of them being the Legacy of the Nordheimers. That gives really nice armor and is cold insulated. So very, very good for cold temperatures and stuff to wear this helmet. If you ever get it, it would be good in the snow. He's actually given me 2 of those, which is very, very fortunate. He's also given me a Scorpion harness, which has the buff Cleansing on it. If you have no idea what cleansing means, as it is very vague, it basically cures poison every 30 seconds. So it can help with alcohol poisoning, noxious gas, and food poisoning. So those kind of things, it will help you with that kind of poison. So it might be worth picking up, especially for the fact that it would keep your noxious gas down to a stack. Very, very nice. Also dropped the Commander's Helmet, which is really good, which also gives you gas protection, and the Scorpion Helmet, which has had quite a different change on this one, as it is very different now. You can see it gives you a plus 8% to follower damage and a plus 10 to concussive damage. So it might be really nice if you want some extra help for your concussion, or just upping your follower damage if you can get that Scorpion Helmet. Maelstrom is there, of course, because it's a hammer. It is a strength weapon. There's also the War Dancer chest, which now has a plus 6 in strength weapon damage. So if you want something that's incredibly light for an armor type and you want some extra strength weapon damage, this one would be the one to get. Going further down the list, we can see Heated Argument, which is a heated mace, which is pretty nice of a mace actually. And we also have Quake. It's right there, looks a lot like Aegis Bane, but it's not, don't get it wrong. And the Festering one, which is a poisoned war axe, which is actually quite nice. But they haven't really changed very much apart from being, you know, strength weapons or agility weapons. There's also the Exquisite Silk Leggings, which gives you a little bit extra armor. They're pretty much just a light pants with a high durability, low base weight, and it's good for that kind of thing, but not really my cup of tea. There's also the White Blade, again, not really changed much, and the Lying Bastard Sword as well, which commits lies. I swear they need to explain some of these buffs more. You know, whatever. Ghast Sword, which is corrupted, which could be useful, and that is pretty much it, I believe. Now moving over to the Commander, he's at the bottom of the Unnamed City, but he also drops the exact same loot table as the previous one we saw. We'll check out another one as well, but we won't need to have a look at all of them because they're basically just the kind of same thing, same drops. You just have a few chances to get them drops out of the same bosses. Whereas if you wanted things like the Red Mother or the Skeletal Beast, then it would be a bit more difficult because there's only one of those each in the Unnamed City. Anyways, looking at our loot pool for this guy, he does have some very nice loot as well. Rage Hammer I'm seeing in there, strength weapon, very nice. He also dropped the Commander's Helmet again, gas protection, really nice armor as well, it's a really nice one. Maelstrom he's dropped the War Dancer chest once again. Sword of CROM, which is sadly not very useful anymore since it doesn't do any damage on thralls. And we look further down the list, we see Quake again, Steel Truncheon, some tools, Festering ones, Exquisite Silk Leggings, which you can get a top for as well. And he also has, what else does he have? Oh, he has the Ghast Sword again, so not as lucky for drops this time in variety, but there's some more you can see there. Moving on to Winged Death, which is definitely one you want to keep an eye on because it drops one of the best health armors in the game now, which is the Verminhide stuff. It's absolutely worth grabbing because it gives a huge boost in health. Out of other health, you know, boosting armors, is the highest you can find. So it's very, very good stuff if you do fight this guy and get the Verminhide. Catches, it's not very good in armor, but it will give you that health bonus and you might be able to use something else. It also gives you the Black Feather Helm, which is cursed and is a unique item. If you're wondering what Curse does, it basically corrupts you while at the same time granting armor. So, decent. It will give you heavy corruption as well from the moment it is equipped. So, it could be good if you want to get your corruption up and stuff. If you can grab a helmet like this and put it on for a little bit, then you can have that. Another unique drop I'm seeing right here is a Javelin as well, called the Riptide I'm seeing, which is again one of those you can throw, and it has the unique kind of ability for water breathing, which is very curious. An agility weapon, of course, because it's a javelin. So yeah, that's a very interesting one. You could pick up the Riptide, makes sense being called the Riptide. And then we move on to the Verminhide Boots. So as you can see, it gives you a plus 60 in health, which is very, very high. It also gives you an agility weapon bonus of damage by plus 6. So if you wanted to be a light build, but have a lot of health, this could really help with that, having the Verminhide stuff. It would be a good call if that's what you kind of like. And of course, it's not only boots, there is Verminhide pants you can also get, which are also very, very good. And you can already see I have about 3 pairs of them, so they seem to drop a little bit more common for me this time in comparison to the boots. and those will also give you a plus 16 health and a plus 6% in agility weapon damage, so you know you can get a plus 12 with them both together and 120 health of as a bonus if you had both of these pieces. Unfortunately though, it's only boots and pants, but if you can get them and add them to whatever you have, perhaps you could add some war dancer or whatever else you like with it, probably something more agility weapon bonus. Depends how you like to build things. But it could be a good bonus, even for just the health. It is very nice. Now looking at the brute, he is also one that drops unique loot tables, so he's only one dude that drops his only table, so getting things out of him might be a little bit more tricky, but you could have some luck doing this. So we'll have a look at his loot table, because you can get a helmet and some gauntlets as well. So now we got this guy down, let's have a look at his loot table and see how his items have changed. We've thankfully got his unique items, both of them. You can see the helmet of the brute, you get a plus 6 in strength weapon damage. You also get 110 armor for a helmet, that's really decent. He also has dropped other things in here as well, like his gauntlets, which is also a unique drop, giving slightly less armor at 55. But he gives you plus 15 in stamina, so if you like some more stamina, then the gauntlets of the brute might be something worth picking up. He also drops a very, very good sword, which is the Predatory Blade. It is a normal sword, but it is very good for its light attack when on a player, because you can get that very lovely 97 damage. Remember, not so worth using on a thrall, because they will try and use the heavy attack, so the Predatory Blade tends to be better in a player's hands, and is a very, very nice weapon. He's also dropped the Shank, which is an agility weapon, because of course it is daggers, and yeah, those are also pretty decent. One of the last ones I wanted to look at though was the Watcher, and he's usually not very easy to get up to because he's above the Red Mother, and it's not really a very good way to get to him unless you climb. However, he did drop something really good that you guys definitely should probably keep an eye out, because it's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing for harvester builds if you want higher encumbrance and stuff like that. Highly do recommend. Let's have a look at him anyway, and his very juicy loot pool. So again, it's a guy that shares the same loot pool with the other skeleton commanders you can find around, including the white boss you can find at the back of the Unnamed City. He shares the same table, but this is one of the items here I really wanted to find, and I have found it. But let's first have a look at the commander's chestplate, because I don't think that dropped last time, and it is also a very good one you can get, because it also gives you plus 16 health and 193 armor for that. With the health, that is really good for a medium piece. Like, if you can get that chestplate, woo, that's going to be a cracker of one. Looking at other stuff as well, we pretty much have very similar ones, Legacy of the Nordheimer, but it's the War Mammoth Boots I'm interested in, because as you can see, it gives a plus 45 in carrying capacity. Let me just tell you this is the only set of armor that gives you plus 45 in carrying capacity. It is the highest giving in carrying capacity in the entire game, so if you can get War Mammoth Boots, and you like farming or farming builds, then this will be absolutely worth getting. However, it is a heavy armor, so that might not be so attractive. However, that carrying capacity is lovely, and it gives you some decent armor as well at 120. So War Mammoth Boots would definitely be worth looking for, especially if you like farming. And the rest of the stuff is pretty much got another sword of CROM, got really lucky there. And then it's just similar things, minus I see we have the Night Watcher helmet, Night Stalker's mask, sorry, which gives you night vision, which I never really like using in Conan because it absolutely blinds me, it's so bright. But it might be your cup of tea, so there you go. And we also got a gas axe out of this guy, which is quite similar to the gas sword, aka you'll get corruption from it and some decent, you know, health damage and stuff. Apart from that, the only other ones I didn't really get was the horned helmet, which is basically just an incredibly durable helmet with a lot of armor. And I think I did get this one, but I didn't show it off, was the Black Tusk shield, which is a bone shield, which is basically more stronger than the other one, has quite a decent amount of durability, but that's pretty much it. Anyways, you got 7 bosses to farm in the Unnamed City, so if you want a chance of getting any of these items, especially them War Mammoth Boots are absolutely lovely, or the Verminhide, I can definitely recommend, and the Commander's Chestplate. Those are probably my favourites out of the alterations that have been done in 3.0 update to comparison to what they used to be. So definitely, yeah, I think 3.0 has improved upon these items, and they are very, very nice. So do give them a look at, and let me know what you think about these changes to the Unnamed City armors and stuff like that, and even some of the weapons. But anyway, thank you for watching, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!